What do we do?
We run.
Hi, I'm Dan, and today I'm reacting to Runaways Season 1, Episode 10, the grand finale, Hostile. So we're finally here, we got a Season 2 renewal. If you haven't heard, Hulu's picking it back up, and now we have end of Part 1, and that's really what this episode felt like. It felt like, okay, yeah, it's a finale, but it really feels like the end of Act 1. We still have our antagonist out there. We still don't really know what Jonah wants exactly, but we have all our players. We know who they are, and now we're getting off into the real action of it. As the Runaways run away, the parents have revealed most of who they are to us at this point. A lot of the mysteries we had have come into sharper focus, even if maybe things like Amy's death and stuff like that aren't completely confirmed. They're all but confirmed. And so we have our pieces in place. We have the parents wanting to fight against Jonah, and now we're gonna really get to the meat of it as the kids run away, and we see what happens with this show that's called Runaways that officially now has some runaways. So all in all, I think this was a very strong episode. I was fully engrossed the whole time through. I will say I was expecting more of a definitive end to this arc, I guess. I don't know why I was expecting it, but I kind of felt like, oh, Jonah's entire plan would be revealed. Jonah might even be defeated. I don't know. So it was kind of a letdown in that way, but I feel like the character stuff was really good, and I had a lot of fun watching it, so I still think it was a solid finale. At the same time, I think it also highlighted some of the issues that the season in general had, and some of the ways that I think they can improve in Season 2. Speaking of which, one of the first big things we have in this episode is the face-off between the parents and the children. We have lots of blasts and things, one at a time, going at Tina's wand, and she blocks them all, and then we have Jonah coming and blasting everyone, and we have this sort of light battle where we have Lightbulb Jonah and Karolina blasting at each other, very reminiscent of something like Harry Potter when we had Voldemort and Harry with the two wands. And everybody else escapes while Karolina, tells them to run off, she'll protect them. They definitely need to up the action in Season 2. I just feel like it's a little bit awkward. It feels like it's action, I don't know if it's just on a budget or the way that they're choreographing it seems like it could use some work. At the same time, I've come to the realization and to the place with the show where I'm like, it's good enough, this show is more about the characters to me, but I feel like there's no reason they can't have both. And so I hope that they step up their game in that arena in Season 2. So as they all run away and leave Karolina, Nico really reveals herself and how much she cares about Karolina, because she's the one who really strongly doesn't want to leave her behind. She's like, we have to go back, and Alex is saying, oh, well, look at us, how can we possibly do this? And she goes, yeah, look at us, we're missing someone. And I thought that was a really good line, and it was good to get some clarification on how Nico feels, and to fully understand that she does care about Karolina in a more than friendship way in this episode, because I honestly was a little bit unclear on where Nico's feelings lie. I think they have chemistry. I'm always totally all for female-female relationships on television. I'm a big fan of people like Clexa and Cora and Asami, that's what it is. But I feel like to some degree, this relationship could have been built up better. I like the idea of these two actors, I like the idea of these two characters, but I feel like they didn't build it up in the way that I think that could have really made this hit home for me personally. I'm sure a lot of people are big fans of them, and I'm still very much open to seeing where that takes me and whether I can really start rooting for them, but I feel like they should have planted more seeds earlier on in the season. Yes, they planted seeds that maybe Karolina had some feelings, but I mean, they just didn't spend enough time together, in my opinion, and I felt like they had done so much more building up Nico and Alex, and I feel like they should have maybe been seeding in some more stuff with Nico having feelings for Karolina. It felt more like, oh, surprise! I guess they had the scene where they were getting ready together, it was cutesy and everything, but you have to also remember that Nico invited Gert and Molly to that too. But, maybe I'm wrong. If people have moments that they want to clip out or show to me and be like, oh look, see, this is where they were setting this up, I'd love to see it. So, like I was saying, Alex wants everybody to leave Karolina behind. He's like, we have to do what's for the best of the group. We should go. We should run away now. Ultimately, everybody else decide that they should go back and fight for Karolina. Which leaves Alex in an interesting place and makes me question, does he know that there's something going on between Nico and her? Is it jealousy motivated, or is he just sort of the pragmatist of the group? He's the strategist, and so he's going to make the hard calls that not necessarily everybody else is going to make. Personally, I hope that's that version of him and not the jealous one, especially because there's nothing really that he would have seen necessarily that would have made him think that Nico was off with Karolina at this point. So that would seem a little bit odd to me. The kids have all escaped aside from Karolina, and the parents get together and have a talk about, now they know Karolina is Jonah's daughter, and they're like, there's a circle within the circle, what's going on here? Tina reveals that Leslie's the one who's killed Molly's parents, and they're just like, we have to figure out how to save our kids. This is going crazy. I thought this was a really nice scene for the parents. I really liked them in this episode because I just felt like I finally was on board with them. I was empathetic to them, and they were doing the right thing. Then we have what I would consider kind of confusing or weird scene with Frank, Leslie, and Jonah. Frank is talking to Leslie about, oh, look at Karolina, she's all hurt, and, I'm the real father, not Jonah, and you betrayed me, and he just cares about his stupid hole, and he's willing to hurt Karolina to protect it, and blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, if you feel that way, why are you working with and helping Jonah? So I'm wondering if there's some really strange long con that Frank is working here. I can't see how, but I also can't understand what his actual motivation is, other than that he, fears Jonah so much that he'd rather be in his good graces so that he can help Karolina through him. I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think about Frank, because to me he's, the most enigma, what's going on there character right now. Next, all the kids are in thrift shops and they're getting new hip outfits, and we get some outfits that I believe are references to the comics. I definitely know that later in the episode Karolina gets her yellow shirt, which is iconic of her in the comics. Nico and Chase interacting. I liked a lot of the different character interactions we had this episode that showed different facets of the group than we normally see. We had Chase sort of coming out about his feelings about Gert and how much he actually does care about her, which I thought was great. Also, Molly just kind of pops in and is adorable and hilarious. A really cute scene. The next scene is a bit of a heartbreaker as Gert has to say goodbye to her dinosaur buddy. She also references her comic book name in the meantime by calling herself Arsenic. I know at least some little tidbits about the comics, even though I haven't read them yet, though I am about to dive in now that we're done with season 1. Next, we get the reveal that whatever is down in the hole is alive, which freaks out Leslie as she realizes how little Jonah is actually telling her about this whole situation. That's an interesting, intriguing plot point to leave as a cliffhanger for season 2. What is down there? What kind of being is it? One would expect that this is probably something from Jonah's homeworld. Maybe he worships this thing, and that this is the thing that's going to topple LA when it finally awakes and comes up. Moving on, we have a fun little escape sequence here where we have Chase and Molly sneaking into Geborum with the help of Vaughn, who the kids went to, and they're like, yo, Vonnie, your boss is totally murdering people and shit. And so they go in, they manage to sneak out Karolina, and she's back with the group and everybody's happy. I thought this whole sequence was nice, and Alex also ends up hearing his parents talking about how they're done with Jonah, they just want to get their kid and they want to get out of here, they're not trusting anybody anymore. So that adds an interesting layer for Alex, who has been maybe the strongest proponent of, fuck the parents, they all suck. Hearing the nuance there, I think, will be interesting for the future of the character. During the heist of sorts, we also get a nice little sequence with Gert and Nico, a nice other little pairing. Gert talks about her anxiety and her emotional support dinosaur, both saying something interesting and adding a little humor to her at the same time. I thought was nice. And then Nico reveals to Gert the reality of how much Chase cares, and it's just adorable. I am definitely a fan of Chase and Gert. I am fully on board there. After the escape, we find out that Leslie was the one who sent Vaughn to help the kids, and that she says Jonah isn't in charge anymore. At the same time, once Jonah sees that Karolina is gone, he gets a text message from an unknown caller saying mission accomplished, as though this was Jonah's plan all along. Now the question is, who could that be? I feel like there was a lot of switcheroos here. Oh, at that point you cut from Leslie to that, it's like, oh, is Leslie playing both sides? Is Leslie still actually just helping Jonah and his master plan here? Then later in the episode they make you think maybe it's Frank. I've seen some speculation of like maybe one of the kids is in on it and helping him, someone like Alex or something. I think that would definitely be cool, but nothing that I've seen really has made me think that yet. Right now, the most obvious thing is that it's Frank, and to be fair, I feel like a lot of the times when they set up mysteries in the show, they end up being sort of underwhelming explanations, so my guess is that it is Frank. But I'm hoping that some of these twists and things end up twisting on top of the twists, and that we get some cooler revelations. So after everybody regroups with Karolina, we have Karolina donning that yellow shirt in a very sexy fashion as Nico watches her in her bra, and then they make out, or kiss. And that's when they sort of really are firmly becoming a thing. Meanwhile, Alex is off, and people are like, oh, did he see them kiss? Or was he talking to his parents or whatever? I was much interested, and I much preferred that he called Darius and made a little deal with him, got some money, got some weaponry, and is sort of doing it behind everybody's back. And he has some sort of lone wolf thing going on here. I'm interested. At the same time, I do feel like Alex is one of the things that sort of fell through the cracks throughout this season, and one thing that I definitely want them to pay more attention to in Season 2. I feel like he was set up as our protagonist, really, in the first episode, and yeah, I mean, obviously this is a show with a multitude of protagonists, but he was really the center of the show, the Jack Shepherd, if you will. And he kind of just faded into the background a little bit. It doesn't help that he's like the least actually useful member of the group without having any powers or any super cool weaponry or anything. He's just a dude who sometimes uses a gun and is intelligent. And it's like all of them are intelligent. I feel like he needed more, and I feel like he didn't really get much of an arc. He was sort of down and interesting, I really feel like, in the premiere, and then he kind of just was with Nico, and then he hated his parents for a long time, and then he revealed this thing to Nico that I thought was kind of bleh, and he just didn't really get much of an arc here. I feel like a lot of the other characters got a lot more, and I want to see more from Alex because I think the actor's great, and I think he has a lot of potential. So I hope that they really dive more into him in Season 2. Leslie then convenes with all the other parents, and she comes clean both about killing Molly's parents, but also about knowing that Jonah was going after Amy. That she was the one who texted Amy warning her, and that she believes that Jonah is the one who killed Amy. She talks about how she loved him and she wanted to believe in him, and now she knows that she needs to defeat him, that she's the one who can get close enough to him to help them kill him, and that they're all sort of united despite their disagreements and issues. And I thought this was a great moment for her. I want to talk about the fact that Jonah killed Amy. It is still possible that this is a red herring. At the same time, if this is the truth, then why did they spend so much time building up this whodunit when, oh, the reveal is, oh, it's the bad evil alien guy who's the main antagonist of the whole show. Surprise! I mean, just why didn't they just show it a few episodes ago when they showed the shadow? I really do hope that it goes deeper than that, because otherwise it's silly. I mean, it is a nice reveal. I think that Leslie's the one who texted her. I didn't see that coming, but still, that's not enough to make it, the fact that it was Jonah, worth enough to me. Ultimately, the episode ends both by finding out that Jonah is getting all crusty again, but also, more importantly, with the Runaways officially being on the run from the law, as they have now been framed for Destiny's murder, and are, you know, they have to run from the law, and they have to run from the parents and Jonah, and what's gonna happen as everybody corners them. This makes for a great premise for Season 2, and makes me really excited for the show that I've been wanting to have since the beginning. They're on the run. It seems like Jeffrey's probably the one who did it, that he called it in, that he thinks, I guess, that if they get caught by the police, that they'll be safe, because then Jonah won't want to make something this big public attack or anything. That's my guess. If you think someone other than Jeffrey did it, please let me know in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for watching my recaps and reviews this past season. Let me know what shows you'd like me to talk about in the future. I was totally going to go straight into The 100 Season 5, but now I know that it's not coming until April. So if you want me to react to other shows, old or new or whatever, please let me know in the comments below. And I hope you enjoyed this time, and I enjoyed reading your comments and everything, and I've had a lot of fun with this show, and I can't wait for Season 2. Thanks guys so much. See you next time.